On the night of September 13, 2016, 24-year-old Jacqueline Vandergriff got tired of trying to meet someone online and decided to go out. She tweeted, quote, "I'm glad I decided to get off Tinder and walked to a bar," end quote. It would be the last tweet she would make, although it wasn't the final tweet in her account. Jacqueline met a 31-year-old man at the Fry Street Public House bar named Charles Bryant. Bryant had a dark past which included a history of domestic violence and stalking. Bryant offered to buy Jacqueline a drink, and later they left a second bar they had gone to together. Jacqueline's roommates didn't see her return that night, but the following day they noticed that her car was still parked outside their apartment. Worried, they went to the police, who eventually tracked down Bryant through surveillance footage from the bar. When officers arrived at Bryant's house, they found Jacqueline's burned and dismembered body in a blue plastic kiddie pool in his backyard. He initially denied killing her, but eventually confessed and was charged with capital murder. In March 2019, Charles Bryant was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. 22-year-old Haley Anderson went missing from her Binghamton University apartment on March 8, 2018. Her roommate, Josie, grew concerned when Haley didn't show up at a planned outing with friends or respond to any text messages. Using a tracking app, Josie and another roommate, Michelle, discovered that Haley's phone was at the house of Orlando Tercero, who was Haley's on-and-off boyfriend. Josie and Michelle went to Orlando's house and found Haley's lifeless body in his bedroom. She had been strangled to death. Orlando was nowhere to be found, and it was later discovered that he had gone back to his home country of Nicaragua after leaving a suicide note. The investigation revealed that Orlando had been obsessed with Haley and wanted a more serious relationship with her, but she ended their relationship and wanted to remain friends. Orlando wasn't extradited, but he was prosecuted and convicted of femicide in Nicaragua and sentenced to 30 years in prison. The district attorney emphasized the importance of charging Orlando with femicide, which is a hate crime, highlighting the depravity of his actions. If he ever returns to the United States, he will face charges of second-degree murder. In May 2019, 39-year-old Wade Allen was arrested for the murder, mutilation, and sexual assault of his girlfriend, 42-year-old Kelly Warner, after police received a tip. The tipster told police that Allen and Warner had been in an on-again, off-again relationship for a few years and that Kelly, quote, "kind of got mouthy with him, so he backhanded her and accidentally killed her," end quote. Once inside Wade's home, the police found several coolers. When asked about them, Allen said he was getting ready for the summer. Kelly's mutilated remains were found inside. During his time in jail, Wade discussed the details of strangling Kelly with his cellmates, who eventually reported the information to the authorities. In retaliation, Allen sexually assaulted one of them once they were rehoused together. In a video statement to the court, the cellmate told the judge that the conduct was not consensual and stated that Allen was a monster. After pleading no contest, Wade Allen received the following sentence: 39 to 60 years for second-degree homicide, 2 to 5 years for attempted dismemberment and mutilation, and 38 months to 5 years for attempted third-degree criminal sexual conduct. On September 2, 2015, 35-year-old Kendra Hatcher was tragically shot and killed in a parking garage in Dallas, Texas. Security camera footage would show a man approaching Kendra's car and returning to a Jeep driven by a woman. At the time, Kendra was dating a man named Ricky Paniagua, whom she met on the dating app Tinder. Unbeknownst to her, Ricky had a very jealous ex-girlfriend named Brenda Delgado. The Jeep was linked to a man named Jose Ortiz, who, as it turned out, had loaned it to Brenda and her friend Crystal Cortez. When asked about it, Brenda denied any involvement in the murder. Further investigation revealed that Brenda orchestrated Kendra's murder to win back her ex-boyfriend Ricky. Crystal admitted to being part of the plot and testified against Brenda in exchange for a reduced sentence of 35 years. She stated that Brenda had hired a man named Christopher Love to shoot Kendra for $900 worth of drugs, and evidence would later corroborate that story. Christopher was found guilty and sentenced to death. Brenda went on the run for several months but was eventually arrested in Mexico and extradited to the United States. She was sentenced to life in prison without parole. On March 4, 2022, 33-year-old mother of three Corey Richins allegedly murdered her 39-year-old husband, Eric Richins, by giving him a cocktail mixed with a lethal dose of fentanyl. Curry told police she had made her husband a drink and served it to him in bed at their home in Camas, Utah, to celebrate her selling a home for her real estate company. She said she then went to stay with their son in his bed because he was experiencing night terrors. In the morning, Corey found Eric unresponsive and called 911. Eric's autopsy revealed a fatal fentanyl overdose with a level in his system 5 times the lethal dosage. Investigators got a search warrant for the couple's home and found several communications between Corey and an acquaintance discussing fentanyl. On February 26, 2022, she allegedly bought $900 worth of fentanyl. Less than a week later, Eric was dead. A year after his death, Curry published a children's book on grief titled Are You With Me that was inspired by her 3 children and their experience coping with the loss of their father. She is currently facing charges of aggravated murder and possession of a controlled substance with intent to distribute.